Guys, welcome back to the channel. If you're new here, I'm so happy to have you. So my pre-existing subscribers, welcome back to the channel. So for today's video in particular, we're going to be covering and talking about a subscriber-based question. It's going to be based off today's title and thumbnail of today's video. I actually don't remember the question, but we're going to be touching base in a minute. This video is being recorded on Tuesday, August 26th at 2:53 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, as and when I'm recording this specific video. Again, just to remind you, this video is just for entertainment and for educational purposes only as well. And if you want to help out the channel grow, you can do so by liking, commenting, subscribing, hitting the bell icon, engaging with the content, sharing this video with others. Really help boost the algorithm really here on this YouTube channel. And also by not also putting in a lot of emojis into the comment section, also really help boost the algorithm as well because it considers it real comments, even though people use emojis regularly. I know I do. But anyway, besides the point, thank you guys. Thank you for your love and support and appreciation. I really do appreciate it. It does not go unnoticed. Anyway, I do want to do a whole bunch of these videos to get some of your questions answered, because I know a lot of you guys just took the time to submit 6 weeks ago all your questions. I'm still going through them, so just hang tight. I'm going to do my very best. And let's talk about today's video. Again, if you want to be notified when I do post and upload, go into the comment section below or the description. Follow my Blue Sky account and my Facebook group so you can stay in a loop when I do post and upload next. Alright, so we have a great question. It says, Vicky Appleton, 1483. She wants to know, Texas and Florida has played such a big role in this political drama. Is there spiritual significance to these two states being such big players? That's a beautiful, beautiful question. I think that's probably really good, highly informative question. So thank you for taking the time to submit theirs. If you guys may have remembered, I talked about how California was going to be the bellwether state years ago, and saying that whatever happened in California is going to be what happened to the rest of the country. For example, the LA riots and the military and National Guard being sent in. What later happened? It ended up going to D.C. and it's going to make its way to Chicago, New York, and any other blue cities. But I do also want to keep a high note here as well, is that I did talk about California and Virginia, the state of Virginia. If you want to go ahead and watch those videos, I'll put that at the end of the video and also in the description and the comment section below if you want to go ahead and watch it. It's highly informative. But anyway, today we're going to talk about Texas and Florida and why they have a spiritual significance as well. I myself would like to know that. Alright, let's get on with that. I hate long and short, or so do you. Okay. So spiritual angels, tell me about the spiritual significance. Is there a spiritual significance to why Florida and Texas play such a massive role in this political drama and the downfall of the United States? Now, I remind you, one of the things that they're telling me now is that the reason why Texas and Florida are a big player in the U.S. right now, because Texas was an acquired piece of land that the United States has also taken in later on when Texas became an independent country and then joined the United States in spite of Mexico. While also this is all playing out, we also had Florida, which also was not part of the original 13 colonies that also joined later on in the United States. So the reason why those two have significant players, because that was also the significant states that changed the course of American history. Anyway, going back into the reading. They wanted me to tell you that. So spiritual angels, tell me about what kind of role and why does states like Texas and Florida have such a spiritual significance and such a political role? Does it have any spiritual significance, if any at all? Or is it just nature of politics? Okay. Do they have any spiritual significance at all as to why they're so politically relevant? Anything else? They're telling me this is all we need to know. Okay. So the first card that comes in, this is the past tense. This is anything here that's facing in this direction represents the past. Anything that's facing here represents the future. What is coming for states like Texas and Florida? Well, in the past here, we had the Knight of Pentacles. I'm hearing irrelevancy. At some point during time in history, they were irrelevant. They weren't seen with big population. They didn't have as much political influence and as much sway in national politics as they do now. This is like the heightened peak. This is their peak. So part of the reason why Texas and Florida are in the spotlight was for the very first time they have political power. They are able to dictate policy within the United States, something that they could not do before. It was states like New York and all the northern region states, or the Rust Belt. Now it's shifted to the south, the southern corridor. This is why the Knight of Pentacles comes in. The Knight of Pentacles comes in as being irrelevant in the past. And yes, I did say that Florida and Texas were relevant back in the past, but only for when they were acquired. And after that, they kind of lost their relevancy, if any at all. And the last time Texas was relevant was during the 1860s with the Civil War. Other than that, it's kind of been pretty on the back burner. Same thing with Florida. Florida started gaining its relatives. Specifically, both Florida and Texas started gaining a lot of electoral proposition, but also electoral identity. It kept shifting between Democrats and Republicans and going back and forth multiple different times over the past 70 years, right? But now it has become more solidified since then. In the past tense, what is coming towards an end in Texas and Florida is equilibrium. This is the Eight of Pentacles. It means putting up your star on the post and saying that this is it. This is it. This is saying they're irrelevant once they joined the Union, which is true. They became irrelevant. But as we started getting closer to Pluto's return, and the start of it was his Ronald Reagan presidency, we started to see this massive shift where things start to shift into the current climate that it is. Everything starts with Ronald Reagan. And everything before Ronald Reagan led to Ronald Reagan. But Ronald Reagan led us to Trump. But the Eight of Pentacles is saying that it was building its influence, and now that is in the past with irrelevancy. It was building its structure, it was building from the ground up. But now what's coming in the future for these states, what kind of spiritual significance do they pose? We have the Four of Wands. The Four of Wands is political relevancy. It's the idea that they can dictate policy and only policy alone. They want to dictate. This is what it comes down to spiritually. It comes down to the fact that people want to be president and they want to live in these states. The fact that Texas and Florida could put up presidents would be enormous. Let me see if there was any president that was ever born in Texas and Florida. I know Trump had his home state in Florida, but not sure. Okay, what presidents were born in Florida and Texas? Okay, so Dwight D. Eisenhower and Johnson were two presidents born in Florida, while two presidents from Texas, or hold on, it says here, presidents born in Texas, Dwight D. Eisenhower and Lyndon B. Johnson were born in Texas. There's also, for some reason, I guess they didn't include the Bushes, but I guess they come from Texas, but they were never born there. And it said no president was ever born in Florida. Okay, no one had a birthplace set to Florida, which is interesting. Because Texas has put up a lot of presidents, but not so much for Florida itself, which is really interesting, very interesting. But again, it comes down to this idea that they can both dictate policy. And what is the card that follows is the Three of Swords, where they're saying that they got to be very careful because some of this policy, this initiative, it could be acted and seen as treacherous to the country, a betrayal to the Union. And this is the Tower card reversed. One wrong decision and the Tower card goes upright. Right now it's reversed, which means they're doing all these different things and whatever they want to do, they can do it. But if they do too much at a certain point, it pushes the limits. And it can end up like this. We can end up on a war with our hand. We can end up with upheaval, division. So what does this mean? What kind of spiritual significance does Texas and Florida play? Well, they play a very, very spiritual significance. One of the spiritual significance is that the more they push policy on the country and too fast at such a rapid pace, without any sort of quote-unquote gap, according to Spirit, they will end up turning the Tower card upright, and there could be a war, it could be massive division, it could be secession, say seceding from the Union. There could be multiple different things on how this could play out. that they need to find this equilibrium of harmony to influence policy without pushing too hard. That's really what it comes down to. The top of deck here is we have the Seven of Pentacles. Yeah, you might want to accomplish all these things, but if you accomplish it too fast, you might lose the thing that you were trying to accomplish. On the bottom deck here, we have the Nine of Pentacles. If they do this at a very slow pace, they will bring great fortune to the idea or policy that they're trying to put forth. So that is the spiritual significance of both Florida and Texas, and why it's so exponentially important for those two states to be very careful not to push the limit of foreign policy. I mean, not foreign policy, push the limit of domestic policy, because it can end up in a very bad situation where they can end up dividing the nation beyond repair. So that's what I'm getting. If you want to watch out and see what I said about Virginia and California, go into the comment section below or the description, or watch till the end of today's video and you will see that video momentarily. Alright guys, I think this is pretty much it. I think this answers your question. If you have any more questions, of course, in regards to Texas and Florida, put them in the comment section below, and I will try my best to answer as many as I can. Alright guys, thank you, I love you, and I'll see you guys soon. Bye.